you opened up for a great dialogue this morning, I think, when you posted, forgive your parents. And then all of a sudden, I just seen everyone, like, no matter what age, I started to get up there and type my shit. Well, let me just tell you.
When you forgive your parents and when you have the capacity to forgive your parents, you then have the capacity to forgive yourself.
Wow.
That's really what it's about. You have to have compassion in a space for others, because when you don't, it's a reflection of the lack that you have it for yourself. And that's what really helped me. And so I wanted to start that dialogue and that conversation, because this is look, if we can start the process this early, then we should be good by 40.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because life begins at 40. I'm trying to
okay. You know what I'm saying? 40 is when it's like you need to have it together, Pooh.
That's it. That's it. It's the Roxanne. Got Keke Palmer in here with me. Of course, you know I got Cool B. That's the way it is, and that's the way it'll be.
Hey!
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Please believe it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be talking to you. I was telling you before we went live, I'm a fan of yours, and for years I wanted to play your life. And when I finally saw the story, it was amazing, and I'm glad that you finally got to see and you finally got to tell your story, but it was amazing, yeah.
Thank you so much. And it's so funny that you say that, because when you were first going to play me, we were doing a Juice Crew movie.
Yep.
And you were going to be me. And one of the things about it is that they always said, whoever it was that was going to play me, we wanted to make sure that the visual was the same.
Yeah.
It was very important to me. I just felt like only a young lady with the same complexion and facial structure, high cheekbones, nice little eyes, could wear a ponytail, that's the only way it was going to be able to be done, so that they could really get into the full element of it. And now, whenever you look up my record, Roxanne's Revenge, there's a big picture of you.
Yeah! I see that too. I don't know what that one is about, but literally there's a specific picture I know you're talking about. Even when I put it in, it literally says Roxanne in the back.
Yes. And it's so funny because it's a picture of you, I think, sitting on a boombox, sitting on the radio.
With that red and white shirt,
Yes.
Yeah, and every time it reminds me, and I was like, oh my gosh, when it finally came out, because my friends would be calling me like, you didn't, everybody was like, you seen that movie? You seen Roxanne? I say, yes. I said, I wanted to do that movie.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
So now, you are doing so many wonderful things. I am so proud of you. I have watched you, just watched you grow and watched you be able to do so many things. Like, your talent is just incredible, and I just need to tell you that, I am so proud of you from the days of talking to you and your mom, and me and your mom busting rhymes on the phone, just baby.
Not Sharon trying to bust rhymes with
What? Sharon and Shante, we don't play. You better motherfucking ask us. Have a nice day. Ow.
I can't with you.
I was talking to my niece, because I share my projects and everything with my niece. I was talking to my niece, Janae, and she goes to Cornell, and she was talking to me, and she was saying how much she loves you. So she wanted to know, how do you stay so authentic?
Ooh, I'll say my family. You met my mom, and the foundation that I grew up in was very church too based. So my faith is very strong, even if I'm not as religious as I was as a kid. Very church kid. My spirituality, my connection to God has never faltered. And that's really what's allowed me, I feel like, to stay grounded, because it lets me know that I'm more than my career, that I'm more than, whatever these accolades or whatever people think, whatever the ego is telling me. I have people that really love me. And that's really what this world is about. As long as I can do what I love and have fun and be happy and not chase anyone else's goals, but just be myself, and for me to be my own meter of success from where I've come from to where I'm going, I'm blessed and I have a good life, and that's what I should be focused on. And that's, I think, what helps me stay grounded. I think it's also this idea with a celebrity or entertainer that they shouldn't be grounded because their career is so off the ground, and it's such a kind of a crazy, unrealistic concept. But at the end of the day, it's a damn job. I really want people to know that. Yes, it's a passion. Yes, it's incredible. Yes, it's this and that's that. But you got to remember, it's just a job. And I think my mom has always put that in my mind. So it's always like, it don't define me. And so I am just a normal person because I am just a normal person. And this is just my job.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. See how them smart questions make everybody talk all intelligent and shit. See, now back to me. So now, what can we expect next from you? What is next for you to do? 27, you've done damn near everything. You're loving life. You're living life. You look great. You're feeling great. You opened up for a great dialogue. And I'm going to let you answer the question, but you opened up for a great dialogue this morning, I think, when you posted, forgive your parents. And then all of a sudden, I just seen everyone, like, no matter what age, I started to get up there and type my shit. Well, let me just tell you, you seen the movie. Let me, like that type of thing. But
well, it was so funny that you said it because I love to do that. And that's what got me into wanting to host is that I always would be thinking and posing myself with all these questions. And then I would just tweet them out, a concept or idea, and people would respond. And I realized, my generation want to talk. Everybody want to talk about the stuff that we trying to talk about. So let's get into it. And I still do that to this day. Even though I don't have my own talk show, I still talk to my audience, whether it be on Instagram or Twitter. And I pose that question. And, because forgiving my parents, I feel like that saved my life. You know what I'm saying? And my parents are great parents. I feel like all of us, our parents probably, if we really looked at it, are great in their way. But for whatever you felt they did wrong to you, whatever they tried to say, whatever that one moment that you can't never forget, and when they whooped you and it was like, all of that kind of stuff. I remember when I was 21, writing my book, I Don't Belong to You, and I was forced to face all of the barriers I put up because of the hurt that I felt at home. Right. And I was like, oh my God, if I don't forgive my parents, I'm never going to survive my own life. If I don't forgive my parents, I'm never going to be able to move past their trauma or the trauma that traumatized them or the trauma that traumatized the ones that traumatized them. I have to forgive so we can unpack this and we don't have to give it to the next generation. And so that's why when I tweeted that, it's a battle every day for all of us. But the real reason of me saying it is that when you forgive your parents and when you have the capacity to forgive your parents, you then have the capacity to forgive yourself.
Wow.
That's really what it's about. You have to have compassion in a space for others, because when you don't, it's a reflection of the lack that you have it for yourself. And that's what really helped me. And so I wanted to start that dialogue and that conversation, because this is look, if we can start the process this early, then we should be good by 40.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because life begins at 40.
Okay? You know what I'm saying? 40 is when it's like, you need to have it together, Pooh.
That's it. And I tell everybody all the time, especially, young women, and they go through different changes and they say, well, I did this and I did that. And, I feel like I shouldn't have done this. I said, listen, there ain't nothing you can't gargle out with Listerine.
Period.
I don't care what you done put in your mouth. Go on and get you some Listerine, gargle out, and keep on moving.
Exactly. No, seriously. People have to forgive themselves.
Yeah, forgive yourself. We all made some mistakes. No, sometimes you look around and you say, you know what? I got to forgive myself for that. I don't even know how that happened.
Yes. No, for real. It's crazy. It's crazy because I remember I read a quote. I don't know. I love quotes. I don't remember who said this, but it was pretty much a quote about saying, like, I forget exactly how it said it, but it was just pretty much saying like that forgiveness thing. Like, we always think about it meaning other people, but forgiveness is the biggest thing in our life that we have to do for ourselves, forgive ourselves. Like, the reason why a lot of stuff happens in our lives is because we haven't forgiven ourselves. Like, for instance, we had a bad relationship and we hate that we put ourselves through it. So we find another person that's in that same vein because we feel now, because we haven't forgiven ourselves, we feel that's all we deserve. And we don't even realize we're acting from a place of, resentment towards ourselves, blaming ourselves for pain that is a response from other people's actions. That's owning right. When we shouldn't. I used to do that all the time as a kid, especially within the music industry. They didn't like my music. They don't like me. I'm owning it. I held on to all, and it's like, no. Let me release that. This has nothing to do with me. But it took me years to do that. And I used to hate that I had to experience that so young.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy that it happened then, you know, because now, okay, I'm clear-eyed and ready to go.
There you go. And that's the way you got to be. And I can identify with that because when I was younger, a lot of times people would come to the concerts and they would be, you know, like they would be born, they'd be all on the other girl's side and they was always against me. And I felt so bad about that. And I was like, why? And all of a sudden, my mother said, listen, they paid the same amount of motherfucking money to come in here to see you as the ones that liked you. So listen, that's money. When you see that, oh, they don't like my music. They bought it to listen to it. It's a sale.
Yes.
So how you feel about it in your house is on you. But the main thing is you got to see the good in everything. And that is exactly what we do. I'm going to tell you something. This is my, and I don't want it to be no secret. I want everybody to know. I watch Turn Up with the Taylors. Dammy motherfucking Tay and Shante all day. I love the way you played so many characters. Anybody that has not, what you need to do is you need to go to her Instagram. You need to click on the link and then go to Turn Up with the Taylors and click on that and watch every episode because it's hilarious. I love it.
Thank you. And the episodes are short for all those watching and listening. It's short episodes, but Turnt Up with the Taylors is a show about a character I created on my page, Chelsea Barbie Taylor, who in this show, you get to see her life and her family. And you realize that I'm playing all the characters. I play her mom, her dad, her brother, and her grandmother. And they're all very kooky reality show type people. So it's very hyper reality, but it was so much fun. I'm glad you checked it out and liked it because it's very, very goofy.
I love it. But you know what it shows? It really shows your talent, not just as an actor, not as a phenomenal host, a phenomenal singer, or just everything else. It also shows your comedic edge. It shows like it has that. I don't know if you too young for this shit, but Flip Wilson type vibe where you can play every character.
I know
the Eddie Murphy thing where you can play every character. You know,
that you
Goldberg's one woman show, you know, like putting it there.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the dream, like you saying. Like, for me, I think I always have been goofy and funny personality, but when I first got into the industry, people just loved, after Keela and the Bee, they were just like, oh, she's dramatic, and she's a dramatic actress. We love her as a dramatic actress. And so I love drama too. It was fun. I love to be dramatic. And so I was into it. But in that, I kind of realized slowly, like, okay, these drama roles, they do get heavy on your spirit after been doing them for 10, 15 years. And so I was like, okay, let me lean into that comedy that apparently is obvious in my personal life, but hasn't been brought into my, creative works. And that's when I started, going more into comedy and realizing that as a female, I do want to be able to be, seen in that space, and be able to take those chances that we've sometimes only seen guys do, I always want to be able to, just like you, be able to play with the boys.
Absolutely. And listen, and play better.
Yep. Show 'em how it's done.
So now, Virgo tendencies. I'm married to a Virgo.
Oh, yes. Consider yourself lucky.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wait, what sign are you?
I'm a Pisces.
Oh, you guys are a really good match. Pisces are awesome. My little sister's a Pisces. March 3rd is her birthday. I love me a Pisces, honey.
Wow.
Yes. But baby, them Virgos.
Our Virgo tendencies, they can be a little bit much, but nonetheless, we're good folks. And with Virgos, we can have different mood swings, which is very much so like the project. This is part 1 that's available now, which is a lot more upbeat. It's the more like lighthearted, kind of almost even spontaneous vibe. And for me personally, coming from a space of when I put it together, it was a pandemic. And so I was really kind of like, okay, if I'm going to give a project, I don't want to take them on nothing sad right now. I don't want to get them into nothing reflective. I want to just put all of this together and make it a piece of work that people can escape to and think about where they want to be as opposed to what's happening right now. And so that's what Virgo Tendencies Part 1 is. And Part 2, which isn't out yet, is the more reflective side that, once I feel like it's in a space where we feel like going there, then I'll release that too. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to tell you that's the project is wonderful. I think what it is that when you listen to it, if you know a Virgo, and it can work for anybody, because I'm not really we're not going to be stuck on just astrology alone. Right. But
if you do know a Virgo, you can really, really identify with it. Like if you ever want to date a Virgo, you need to listen to this shit.
Yeah.
If you want to understand your boss and your boss is a Virgo, listen to this project. So this way you can get a better understanding of what the fuck is going on. So you ain't got to tippy toe around.
It's so true. It's so true. It's so true. And we got some skits on there too. Because as y'all know, I love to make folks laugh. So it's music, but we also got some comedy too. But yeah, us Virgos, we can be quite difficult to understand, but you know.
But you're beautiful people. You love hard. You love long. You're very loyal. You give more than you get. You are rescuers. Sometimes
that's too much. Sometimes that rescuer thing is too much, and we really got to chill out with that. It's like, who do you think you are? You're not God, poo.
Yeah, there you go, trying to save every motherfucking body. It ain't got enough room on the shit. Why you think we ain't got all the animals? No one knew.
No one knew. One of each. He wasn't no Virgo. He probably was a Pisces in that water.
No one knew.
No, but I'm loving the confidence. I'm loving your confidence, your spirit, and all the things that you're doing. It shows in your work. Like, you know, with this, the tendencies, the Virgo tendencies, your TV, your movies. It's we're watching you grow up before our eyes, and like, you know, now you're a woman just saying, okay, this is me.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And that in many ways is how I feel, especially at this part in my 20s. You know, the earlier part is very, I felt like for me, it was very like, all right, I'm here, but how the hell did this thing really drive? You know, you get in the car and you're like, okay, how did this thing really drive? It's like, I got a nice car, it's a nice build, but do I really know where I'm going with it? And it's like, okay, let me explore a little bit and get a little bit of this and get a little bit of that. And it got rocky, because when you experience and you do a little bit of that, you're it's trial and error.
Yes.
And now I'm at this point, and I'll say this, it's different going through that with a lot of people are watching you, but I was very used to it because I've been doing it since I was 9 years old. I went through my teenage years in front of people, and I went through my early 20s in front of people. And so that's fine. But now at 27, I feel like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like, whoo, now I'm at 27, you know, it's like, the hardest part of my 20s, I feel like, you know, I experienced a lot of those lessons, you know. Now, now at 27, I got these last few years before I enter the crazy 30s and see what they
yes, baby.
But, you know, it's true. You know, it's like I'm growing and evolving, and it's funny to think about that have happened in front of so many people, but I appreciate the ones that support me, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so now that we jumped off of that, what's next for you? Besides this motherfucking talk show that somebody needs to snatch you up and put you on?
Let's go, Pooh. So like pretty much that. I mean, like I love hosting, but I really do want to be in a position to, you know, be able to have a platform for others, to create a space for others to grow from. Like I want to be also a producer. I really want to be that person, like, you know, a Dick Clark or, you know, a Tyler Perry, and really be able to have a production company and have a brand that speaks to something other than me, the talent myself. I want people to think about, when they think about Keke Palmer Productions, I want them to think about somebody else too. You know, I really want to be able to grow beyond that, because I don't want to be in front of the camera for the rest of my life. You know, that's not what I want. But I do want to be able to communicate and create entertainment for my generation and the generations coming after that. That is what I want to do forever.
Legacy.
Absolutely. Well, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Listen, you know you always got a platform here on LL Cool J's Rock the Bells Radio, sweetie, and I'm going to tell you this. All we want is for her to have a what, Cool V?
A nice day!
Hey! But wait, before we go, I just got to say this one more thing. Your motherfucking skin look good. I'm going to go out and buy that shit that you be using on that commercial, because, baby, you glowing.
Girl, come on, right? Don't
shit.